What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Milo, you are in a therapist waiting room. We are back for another edition of Sorare's Value Hunting. It's game week 21. The goal today is to dive into some of the Momentum Labs projections, take a look at the spreadsheets, and see if we can find anything that's popping a little bit that's going to help us fit in some of those studs later. As always, right? It's Wednesday, so we have a few days before game week 21 on Friday. That's when it tips off. We'll be doing live before lock at 5:30. So any information that you get today, honestly, useless, but I appreciate you being here. But all that injury news that's going to be coming over the next couple of days is going to be very important in our lineup building, but always good to check in. You know what I'm saying? See what's popping. Who do we have here? I see Borland in the streets. Milo, we mentioned. Hamy's here. Farad says his constant content is going to get me divorced. High five. Well done. They're dancing. Thanks for being here, everybody. Again, mixing it up a little bit to do it live because I don't want to edit it after the fact. I just want it to be up there. You know what I mean? If you are tuning in for the first time and you are new to Team Hold content or Sorare, do me a favor. You can sign up for Sorare. There's a link in the show notes. If you get started today, using that link, get you 20 free common cards to play for free. And then if you buy 5 things off of the auctions, you get a 6th one free. It also makes us look good. The show notes will also get you to the VIP for Team Hold. And if you sign up for that, get you into the gated Discord to talk all the things so rare. And then the last link to pump, is the Momentum Labs one. That if you want to get behind the paywall to see the spreadsheets that we're looking at, that's what you can do. All right. Let's dive in. We're going to try to do this in under 15 minutes because I'm tired. All right, we're going to start. Again, this will be updated again later today, so definitely recommend checking it out. But let's start down here. Zeke Najee is the first guy to pop, and Zeke Najee is a little bit interesting. He started last night with Aaron Gordon being out, so we have to pay attention to the injury news over in Denver. If Gordon's going to continue to miss time, Christian Brown, all of those guys become a pretty good play. But as we talked about on Monday night, Mike Malone said they need to give Zeke a little bit more run so they can get a better feeling for what they have in him. Because, Zeke's been on their squad for a couple of years now. When injuries hit, he gets a little extra run. But for the most part, they're not entirely sure what they got in him. I'm going to just double check what his I know he started, and I think he played like 15 to 20 minutes. I want to just double check I know he didn't do much with his time either. So that's a little bit concerning, but the minutes is important. So yeah, he started, played 15 minutes, acquired 6 rebounds, and that's it. He took 3 shots, missed them all. One of those was a 3. Honestly, you know who popped? And again, a lot of this has to do with Aaron Gordon being out last night, but Kankar, Latko Kankar really popped last night. So he played 30 minutes for the Nuggets. And he went up there and he got 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, but it's the minutes. When we're down here, when we're dumpster diving, if you will. I just had an ad go off on my computer. There we go. When you're dumpster diving, those minutes are pretty important. I see Joseph in the chat. Gavin's here. Ukulele. Thanks for being here, everybody. All right, let's keep moving along here. This is up to 150. Okay, so Zeke Najee, I like it. Stanley Johnson picked up by the Spurs. That's interesting. Pay attention to that. Christian Brown, again, continues to pop a little bit, but not this is a Kappa 7 projection of 10, right? Hey, that was going to be my next pivot. I almost put him on the thumbnail. Let's see if Mark Williams is projecting. Mark Williams, so he's not right now, but I will say this needs to be updated this week. So Mark Williams has played now in back-to-back game for the Hornets. He didn't do anything too crazy, right? Didn't do anything too crazy. Yeah, has a 6 cap. I think he played 16 minutes his first game, and he was pretty productive in those 6 minutes, but he fouled the shit out of everybody. Then he played, I think it was 18 minutes last night, less productive against the Warriors, but the minutes are starting to tick up. And granted, we benefited from the injury. Who missed time? It wasn't Plum Dog. Nick Richards missing both games. Borland saying if people are looking for a decent buy around 20, D'Lo and Russ. But the caps aren't great. All right. But that is pretty cheap for those guys. Russ, who just put up a triple-double. I like that Mark Williams call, though. He is one of my – I bought him. That's one of my first purchases when I got on So Rare, because I was like, dude, they're going to tank and then he's going to start playing and then he didn't even touch the court. But he is back in action now. All right. So far, the Nuggets guys, Trey Lyles, cap is down to 8. He was pretty productive last night. He had a little double-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds, or 10 points, 11 rebounds. So the Sabonis injury is going to be pretty important. So Sabonis has a fractured thumb. He was questionable like all the way up until tip last night, and then he got ruled out. I imagine Sabonis sits tonight as well if he hasn't already been ruled out. I don't know. A fractured thumb seems bad. And if I imagine he's going to miss a little bit more time than just those 2 games. But if Sabonis misses both games, if he misses a few more games, we saw them start Alex Len, who is dog shit. So don't play Alex Len. But Rashawn Holmes and Trey Lyles are definitely going to continue to be solid plays. Again, you see Lyles right here with a cap of 8. What's Holmes's cap? Did that like really spike because of his performance? No. Okay, that's still a cap of 4. So again, injury news we have to pay attention to, but the King situation is pretty important. All right, let's keep moving up. Marjan Beauchamp, again, he's playing a little bit more because Middleton's out, but he's a very low usage guy. Muscala popped last night. Let me double check what Muscala's numbers were, but he had a pretty solid game. Let me pull it up on my end. I'm not going to share screen for it, but just to see what it was. Excuse me. So Muscala, I think he's one of the first bigs off the bench. So he played a total of, 21 minutes, went 5 for 8 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3, had 19 points, 6 rebounds, a couple steals, a block, assist, partridge in a pear tree. He had a little bit of everything. So Muscala, who, listen, if you're a Top Shot fan, you remember those Muscala days. Muscala, baby. Juancho Hernan-Gomez, I don't trust it, man. He has been starting for the Raptors, but he doesn't play. He's kind of like Alex Len. He's better than Alex Len, but he's kind of like Alex Len in that he starts almost, it's like a performative start, and then he doesn't stay in the game. So Muscala, I think in this range, I like the most. Prince is all dependent on Kyle Anderson coming back. If he doesn't, Prince will continue to pop a little bit. Jordan McLaughlin's fine. Joe Ingles, I actually am a little bit intrigued with Joe Ingles. Poku got hurt 2 minutes in. That's why Muscala popped. Yeah, Poku's questionable, I think, for tonight, so we'll have to pay attention to that. But yeah, I just think Muscala is busier with his minutes. You know what I mean? He does more with his minutes. Jumping Joe Ingles. What's his minutes been lately? Let me pull up the Milwaukee Bucks over on my side of things here and look at some of their recent games. So they play tonight against the Bulls. So maybe we just pay attention to tonight and see what happens. Waiting for tonight. Joe Ingles played 19 minutes with like 11 points. So I don't know. I want to see that number creep up over 20. But I think jumping Joe Ingles, jingle bells, is interesting. I don't trust Malachi Flynn. Honestly, the Raptors, I don't trust anybody outside of Siakam, Barnes, and Fred VanVleet right now. Even OG has not been productive. Thad Young, Goran Dragic, TJ McConnell. I mean, they're fine. Dragic, I probably like a little bit more. McConnell has the most upside just in case Halliburton ever takes a day off. Miles says, what is your view on Shamet with his day off and Booker on the fence? So Booker got ruled out for tonight. I like if Booker continues to miss time, Shamet faces a good play. I don't think we're going to see him consistently score 30 points off the bench, but he's going to have to do something. You saw it last night. I mean, the Suns started Jock Landale last night, so they're clearly trying to figure out what the hell to do with all these guys missing time. I like Shamet a lot. Let me just double check what his cap is right now. We'll see how he's popping. So cap at 25. His cap is pretty high. That projection's only for one game because he missed one. However, that is going to be with Booker out. That's going to go up a little bit. So you know what, Milo? I don't love it as much with that cap. I don't love it as much. Did Brunson just rest last night or is he injured? Yeah, he has a hip thing right now, but it sounded like he was questionable all the way up until game time, and then he got ruled out. So I wouldn't imagine that Brunson misses too much time. But yeah, something we have to monitor though. I'm just going to pop in a couple of these guys here in the 22 range. So Thomas Bryant had a monster night last night with 21 and 14, I think. Or 21 and 10, maybe. Jaden Ivey too. Man, that cap's just so low for someone that has like 40, 45 point upside. But he's obviously priced appropriately. Well, actually 31. Yeah, exactly. Like he's a rookie. So people are like, oh my God. And let's check for a couple more guys under 20. I see Derek White, whatever. Zubats, I love Zubats. So Zubats is going to have these games where he just like flames out because it's not a good matchup for them. But then like he's a double machine, like 15 and 15 type guy. So I like that. Thoughts on Claxton? They only have one game this weekend, but it's against Charlotte. I would imagine most teams only have one game this weekend. Let's see what Claxton is doing. He's got a cap of 35 projection. That projection is going to be higher. Yeah, I mean, you know the rules, Borland. You know the rules. If you're playing Charlotte and you're big, I like it a lot. So yeah, fire up Nicholas Claxton. Do you think he plays third? You're talking about Brunson? I have no idea, man. I think the fact that they're not playing tonight, right? That it's not a back-to-back, I think is useful. Like he's got a little bit more time considering he's questionable all the way up until game time. So fingers crossed. That being said, I played Emmanuel quickly. So quick forever. Let me get back into this 20 range here. So Zubats is probably my favorite at the high end of 20. And then there's Depot's fine, Schroeder's fine, Burks, Caruso. All these guys are fine, but not my favorite. Bones Highland at 18. Bones is just fun if Jamal Murray rests. So if the Nuggets, they have 2 games this weekend. If they have back-to-backs, I don't know if it is back-to-backs, then I think Bones is great. Just because there's a chance Jamal sits. But the Nuggets are humming right now, man. Jokic is so freaking good. Yeah, actually, we should pay attention to TJ Warren a little bit. I know his number, like with Seth Curry missing time, with Joe Harris that missed a little bit of time. TJ Warren got unleashed in this last game and played over 20 minutes and was like very, very good. So for a cap of 17, he has a ton of upside, especially if, they only have one game, as Borland mentioned. So the likelihood of KD or Kyrie resting is probably not going to happen, but I still think this is a fine play at 17. Yeah, Marvin Bagley missed some time. That was a bummer for those who had him. Here we go. What we got? Favorite out of 12 cap and under. 12 and under. So not God. Maybe Joe Ingles. They have 2 games. Maybe somebody sits. At 12, Joe Ingles is my favorite play, even though he's projecting lower than Malachi Flynn and Jordan McLaughlin. Actually, you know what? We should talk about Malachi Flynn. Let's pay attention to the Fred VanVleet news. Fred VanVleet left last night's game with a lower stiff back. And if he misses time, then Malachi Flynn does become a great play. So does Scotty Barnes. But if Fred VanVleet misses time, lock in Malachi Flynn. So that would be my favorite. Malachi Flynn would be my favorite if and only if Fred VanVleet misses time. If he doesn't, I don't like this play at all. Poku news. I think Muscala is fine if Poku misses. Honestly, it's probably Trey Lyles if Sabonis misses too. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. That's a tough spot to be in. I either want to go super low. I don't know. All right, let's see. Evo says, how much do you think you need to make a semi-competitive rare contender team? I keep getting unlucky in the limited divisions, and I'm thinking about moving up. So it depends, Evo, man. Like the rare pieces are expensive, right? Like the CJ McCollum that we were looking at the other day was like 220. So if you're trying to get, I don't know, I'm hesitant to give out a number, but I imagine, right, if you're trying to get a couple of solid guys, you're going to be spending like around 500 to make a solid lineup. Like, I'll show you what I'm sitting on right now. It's a chair. I will show you my rare contender lineup and then we can look at it. All right. Milo says 500. So that makes me feel better. I do think that's probably the range you're looking at. So if we look at my rare contender, I've got CJ, Jordan Poole, Wiseman, Draymond, Rashawn Holmes. And that's not placing, but I think that's like a solid lineup, right? I think that's a solid lineup. If we go to manager sales, we go to rare and we'll sort by lowest price. Lowest price, please. What just happened? What's going on with the world, mama? All right. Here we go. So let's look at McCollum first. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Oh, no, I didn't. All right. So CJ, low ask of once. Oh, no. Is that right? Maybe it was like 180 what I saw, so it's down a little bit. So CJ has a low ask of 160 right now. Draymond Green has a low ask of 111. So that's what, 270, let's say. Jordan Poole has a low ask of 255. Goodness. So that's your 620. 620. Wiseman is 67. So that's 680, 690 basically. And then last but not least, who was our guy? Holmes, but Holmes is inflated. So we don't know. In 50. All right. So you basically in like that 700 range. Show us the hair, please. Wait, what? What's going on, ukulele? Oh, the chair. Did you mean chair? Yeah, I guess it's a little tricky. Milo says my advice is get fringe guys on high scoring teams. KPJ, KM Jr., and Houston have been great fillers. Yeah. Houston, San Antonio, Indiana, a lot of those teams will rest. Well, Indiana hasn't been doing it yet, but will rest guys pretty regularly, especially Houston and San Antonio. And because of that, they'll randomly pop. And there's also trade potential, and then they get vaulted into a greater role, So that would probably be my advice. Those guys are also not as sexy as some of these other names that we were just going over. Like everyone knows to play Jordan Poole right now because Steph is out. And it makes sense. But like no one's like, oh, Keldon Johnson. Oh, Branham. Yeah, let's actually look at Branham. He played a great role this past week. What's he at? Ooh, 73, cap of 13. He's been like their first guard off the bench now that they're starting Vassell and Keldon together. That's a great call. Branham's a great call this week. Fire in some more questions, though. I'll hang for a couple more minutes. We usually do this show in like 12 to 14 minutes. We're at the 18-minute mark, but I'll hang for a couple more minutes. Taj says yeah, but that was your limited, right? You didn't sell the rare for $8, did you? That'd be bonkers. If you sold the rare for $8, I don't know what to tell you. That's out of control if you did that. It had to be the limited because the limited was going for like 10 or something like that yesterday. So it had to be that. If not, I don't know. You shouldn't be selling rares for $8. Do you think Sabonis will be able to play this week? Man, I guess if you want to be like this, like game week 21 or the current game week we're in, I think they're playing tonight. Their second game is tonight against the Nuggets again. I don't love it. I don't love his chances. He's got a fractured thumb. I do think there's like a 50-50 shot he plays this weekend, though. You sold the rare a few weeks ago. Oh, my God. For $8? Oh, my God. I mean, to be fair, Holmes hasn't been playing at all, so I get it. This upcoming game week. Yeah, I think Sabonis does have a shot to play this week. I would say 50-50. Luckily, we'll get more news. Like if he sits tonight and we get an update, we'll have a feeling. They'll either be like, oh, he'll be game time for next weekend. People still ask about Jalen Brunson. I don't know. I mean, the good news if you're a Jalen Brunson fan is he almost played last night. So the fact that he almost played last night gives me hope that he'll play Thursday. I think if they were playing tonight, he definitely wouldn't. Thoughts on Seth Curry? We got to pay attention. So he was ruled out. Was it last night or Monday night whenever the Nets played? So we got to pay attention to Seth Curry. If Joe Harris continues to miss time and Seth Curry is back, I love Seth Curry. If Joe Harris is back, I don't love Seth Curry as much. And obviously, if Seth Curry isn't playing, I don't like Seth Curry. Let's see. How's Beef Stew projecting? Let's check it out now. Funk Soul Brothers. Cap at 20, projection at 24. Pretty solid. Pretty solid for Beef Stew. I think people are off Beef Stew now, too, because Jalen Duren has been balling. But Beef Stew's great. Todd says I've been taking a lot of L's. This isn't anything. LOL. I had 3 or 4 Kogi rares, 13. Oh, man. This would be, you want some non-financial advice? Don't sell rares at the bottom. And what I mean by that, like these sub $10 to $15 ones, because the rares just have chances to really jump up in price, and all it takes is an injury news, That would be my advice. I mean, granted, if you needed the money to move some other things around, I totally get it. So I also didn't take my own advice and sold to Nick Richards this week to buy something else. So I get it. Gavinson's got a good contender this week with Hayes popping. So fingers crossed Brunson plays. I feel like there's a good shot he plays. There we go. Talking curry and beef stew. Nice lunch conversation. Borland said, oh, Borland, hell yeah. Well, Borland, normally when I go to games, I build like a DFS lineup from that game and stack it. So I totally get firing up Anthony Edwards, Beef Stew, Jalen Noel in that game. No, I get it. I get you, Tag. Let's see. Holmes and Muscala. So all of this depends on injury news, Zealy. So if Poku is out, I love Muscala. That would probably be my favorite play. If Sabonis misses again, I think Holmes is great as well. But it's all going to be dependent. You're saying, but I sold Tony Temple. You mean Garrett Temple for like $6? Better to have the cheap rares. Who is Tony Temple? I don't know, but I want to know him. I want to know who Tony Temple is. You think maybe stashing Lyles for the next game week might be the play? Well, Gavin, I mean, if Sabonis misses, I think Trey Lyles is still an awesome play. If Sabonis is back, Lyles still has been playing though. So I think Lyles is fine. Still worth playing Dylan Brooks or Colin Carr with the return of Desmond Bain. Dylan Brooks, I think, is still fine. His cap's probably crept up a little bit, though. Let me look at Dylan Brooks's cap. Brooks is really tough with both of those guys, and cap of 28 is a little high. This is what I will say, though. They have 2 games. Maybe Bain sits one as they're like easing him back in. I think I prefer Brooks over Conchar. I don't think I'm playing, or is it Conchar? I don't think I'm playing Conchar. Yeah, I agree. I like Trey Lyles quite a bit. You sold a creative player, yeah. Bought a Sabonis limited since he's dipped. I was hoping he'd play this upcoming week. Yeah, that's a great buy. I mean, Sabonis has been awesome. Is Middleton safe this game week? No. We need to know if he's playing. He hasn't played. He just keeps getting ruled out of games. So he won't be safe until he plays. So I wouldn't call him safe. No. The benefit is it's Wednesday, so we'll have more information before game week 21 locks on Friday. So we'll have a little bit. Do you like Lyles over Holmes? I mean, so here's the difference, right? If you have the cap, I think I like Lyles better. But Holmes is probably, Holmes still has upside and his cap is lower, but Lyles is safer. What do we got here? What's Dante's cap? I'm sure it's probably high right now. Yeah, Dante's been balling lately, so I'm not sure if. Cap of 26, projection of 23. They only have 1 game this week, and I was going to say Clay just got ruled out because they're playing back-to-backs tonight, so there's no Clay. I have 4 rookies next to him: Paolo, Sohan, Mathurin, and Sharp. There you go. Those are all going to be good plays down the road, too. I mean, Paolo's already a great play. Jeremy Sohan's always projects well. Mathurin's been annoying lately. I feel like he should be better. Hayes or Graham still a play. So Zion returns. It depends. I think Jackson Hayes gets bumped down quite a bit. The one positive for Jackson Hayes that I would say right now is that he has been productive with the minutes he's gotten. So, I think that's fine. Like maybe he's earned himself a few more minutes, but Zion's back tonight. So that's greatly going to impact Jackson Hayes' role. Still high on Tyus Jones. I mean, the thing about Tyus is that if Ja misses, he becomes like one of the best plays. So like his cap is 26. He's only projecting 18. But if you like luck box into Ja being out, he's an incredible play. Yeah, the one you're saying Sharp only got 1 in his game this week. I know the Blazers had a bad game. I think everybody got dinged up. Like even Dame only got like 33 or something like that. All right, couple more minutes for questions, then we're gonna wrap up here. And hey, just a reminder too, right? So we tonight we have the 89 Cavs, which is like a comedy basketball podcast at 6:30, and then at 9 we have Shot Tank. We're giving away a legendary Top Shot moment, and then tomorrow we'll have the NBA morning show at 9, and then Friday, tomorrow I'm jumping on So Rare Data's NBA show with Andrew at 10 o'clock. So go check that out too. He just tweeted it out. I retweeted it, so go for that. And then what was the other thing? Oh yeah, Friday we're back here for Live Before Lock. Do I have any sweats this week? Not on. I do on Underdog, but not on. So Rare has been kind of tough. I like my champion is interesting. So Laurie dropped to 62. Jamal dropped 52 quickly, 45, and Okongwu 18. But the thing is, I'm competing with freaking Luka. Like this guy's got 332 points with Luka, Paul George, Tatum, quickly, Muscala. Like it's really hard to compete with some of that stuff. But I think that lineup should get into cash range. All offense. I think if Gabe Vincent, I know he's questionable tonight. If he plays, I feel like that's got a shot. Fred VanVleet wasn't at practice today, so if he doesn't play, this contender's dead. I also think my rare contender's still in play, right? CJ, if I can get him up closer to 50. Jordan Poole and Draymond and Wiseman all hopefully get a few more minutes tonight on the back-to-back. Not necessarily Draymond, but Jordan Poole and Wiseman, especially with no Clay. And Holmes got the 22 I'm fine with. So a couple sweats, but nothing major. Herder, I think is fine. Yeah. Herder is good. Herder is good. Limited champ or rare contender. If you have to focus on one, which would you prefer? It depends what your squad is, Durdanson. I like rare contender. I find that to be like in my price point. I like the shot at winning rare, like that if I win a rare. And like some of my rares have popped due to injury news, even if it's like a rare tier 4. But the limited champ is nice because you actually get good players that you can compete with. So there you go. No, we the people, I haven't yet. I'm going to work on that though. What are your thoughts on Tai? He played quite well previous game. Yeah, he hasn't been consistent with his minutes, but Tai is someone who I think as the season goes on and the Rockets finally decide to go full tank mode, I really like Tai. So yeah, I like that one quite a bit. Yeah, I know the Luka was tough. In mid-Jan, though, Hornets have Raptors back-to-back, then Celtics back-to-back. Who do you like from the Raptors, Celtics to target for that game? You say play bigs. Raptors, Siakam would be my guy. Like Siakam, I think, is the best play. Boucher is probably a good play as well if he's good to go. Those would be my two favorites. On the Celtics side of things, even though Robert Williams has been coming off the bench, hopefully people are still like they're easing him back in, but this is like 2 or 3 weeks from now, right? And he's just going to rack up blocks, putbacks, dunks, rebounds. So I think Robert Williams would be my favorite of the bigs. I'd have to check the Celtics schedule to make sure they don't have a back-to-back because I could see him resting that one. But I would really like Robert Williams, and especially because it's against Charlotte, like maybe Tatum or Brown rest too. I don't know. Dwayne Washington, as long as Booker is out, is still a great play. Ty Washington is a lock until is Ty Washington on the Suns? No, isn't he a Rocket? Am I wilding? You mean Dwayne Washington? Dwayne Washington, yeah. Dwayne Washington for the Suns is definitely a lock. Siakam just never gets rested during these games. So good. I know, dude. Nick Nurse is the new Tom Tibbs. Everybody's playing 50 minutes. But do you use the phone app? Shows you points the next year. I don't, but I should. I mean, I have it downloaded. I don't use it. Even on my phone, I still go to the mobile site. So dumb. Would you mainly play centers in all defense next game week? Yeah, I would. Robert Williams, that's who I would play. Jaren Jackson Jr. Is who I would play. Obviously, Rudy Gobert. You know who's been racking? Like Luka averages 2 steals a game. I think that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I think those are good. How is Okongwu looking? Maybe a sell with their bigs back. Well, I don't think Capella's back yet, but do you mean John Collins is their big? Okongwu's been frustrating. I still like him. I think it's totally fine to sell him, though, if you're off him. I think that's totally fine. I've been having the same thought. TJ Warren's cap. We were looking at him at 17. I love TJ Warren. I really like him a lot. All right, gang. That's a half hour. We're going to wrap there so I can save my voice. As always, appreciate everyone being back, being here today and messing around with some value hunting. Best of luck in the game weeks. Remember to tune into Live Before Lock. If you haven't subscribed and done all that stuff, do that. And hopefully we see you tonight for some more content. We are out.